Okay, hope you're having a nice day, everyone. It's a pleasure to reach the end of another week, even if it's a little bit rainy. So thank you all for joining. We're going to do a Rashi today from the sixth Aliyah, since it is Friday, in preparation for Shabbos. And the sixth Aliyah is a beautiful one, Parshas Vayechi. As we get towards the end of the Parsha, Yaakov concludes all of the blessings to his children and gives kind of the wrap-up, summarizing pasuk, which is the pasuk that I want to study with you this morning or this afternoon now. So after the bracha to Binyamin, here, if you see at the end of the beginning of the sixth aliyah, he gives this kind of concluding remark. Kol Eila Shiftei Yisrael Shnei Masar. These are the tribes of Israel, 12. Gave all of the brachos, and he says, these are the 12 tribes of Israel. Vizos asher diber lehem avihem bayavarachosam. These are the words that their father, Yaakov, spoke to them and blessed them. Ish asher kivir chaso beirach osam. Every person according to his own blessing. I want to share with you a Rashi on the first half of the pasuk and the second half of the pasuk, both which I think are interesting. The first half of the pasuk seems redundant. Vizos asher diber lahem avihem vayavarach osam. These are the words that their father spoke to them and blessed them. Why didn't it just say these are the words that their father blessed them with, right? Vizos asher berach osam avihem, or vizos vayavarach osam. Doesn't have to say both languages. So Rashi addresses himself to this question. Vizos asher diber lahem avihem vayavarach osam. Halo yesh mehem shelo birchan ela kinteran ela kach pirusho zos asher diber lahem avihem masha amor be'inyanan. Yachos shelo birech leReuven v'Shimon v'Levi Talmud lomar vayavarach osam kulam b'mashma. So the reason it had to spell out these are the words that he spoke to them and he blessed them is because if you look back, not all of the blessings actually seem like blessings to the children. Some of them are a little bit of a jab. They're a little bit of a critique. So if you look back, they may not seem like blessings at all. And therefore, the Torah had to spell out, Zos asher diber lahem aviyam. These are the actual words which their father spoke to them, some which look great, some which don't look great. These are part of the words that he conveyed to them. But you should know that even for those tribes where it looks like they didn't really get a blessing, vayavarach osam, that in addition to the words that are revealed to us, asher diber lahem avihem, that their father spoke to them, that are revealed to us in our text, we should know that broadly speaking, Vayavarach osam, that he really did bless each and every one of them. So the first Rashi teaches us, based on the redundancy in the beginning of the pasuk, that there is more than meets the eye to these blessings. Some of the blessings didn't look quite like blessings, but more that was conveyed that perhaps we don't know about. But in the end of the day, we can rest assured that all of them received some kind of blessing. Now for the redundancy in the end of the pasuk. Ish asher kivir chaso beirach osam. Rashi points out over here, whoops, sorry about that. Beirach osam. Lo haya lo lomar ela ish asher kibir chaso beirach oso. What the pasuk should have said is ish, every person, asher kibir chaso, according to his own blessing in the singular. Beirach is their father, or his father, blessed oso, him, in the singular. The whole thing should have been singular. Every individual got his blessing that his father gave to him. But instead it says Beirach Osan. Ish asher kivir chaso. Every individual person, according to his blessing, their father, Beirach, blessed Osam, them. So why is it speaking about them when it's talking about the individual blessings they receive? So, matam lomar berach osam. Why does the Torah use the language of plural in the end, berach osam, instead of the singular language berach oso? Lefi shenatan leYehuda gvuraso shel Aryeh, uleBinyamin chatifaso shel Ze'ev, v'leNaftali kaluso shel Ayal, yachos shelo klalan kulan bechol habrachos, tamu lomar berach osam. The first half of the pasuk would intimate ish asher kibir chaso, that every individual got their specific own unique blessing. And if you look at the psukim, it really comes out that way, right? Naphtali got the swiftness of Ayal, and Binyamin got the characteristics of a wolf, and Yehuda got the courage and the characteristics of a lion. Everyone got their own unique individual blessings. That's what the first half conveys. Asher kebir chaso, according to his own singular unique blessing. So might you think that that is the only blessing that they got? Therefore, the Torah tells us, Beirach Osam, that the Torah, that Yaakov also gave a collective blessing to all of them. Klalan kulan bechol habrachos, that they all received everyone's blessing. They all got one larger blessing. So the change from singular to plural indicates that Yaakov's brachos to the tribes were both individual blessings as well as collective blessing. Now, one could read that in a number of different ways. One could say that although Yaakov points to the individual blessings of tribes, they actually all got a portion of every individual's blessing. So if Yehuda in specific was given the courage of a lion, that's only because that was his salient feature. But actually all the tribes got the courage of the lion. Or if Binyamin got the characteristics of a wolf. So it's because his salient feature was the characteristic of a wolf. But perhaps all the tribes received that characteristic as well, and so on and so forth. That's one way to read the Rashi, that everyone got their individual blessing, and kalalan kulan bechol habrachos. And we know that they were all included in everyone's blessings because it changes from singular kibir chaso to plural berach osam. But I'd like to read it in another way as well, an additional way, which is the fact that the Torah moves from individual to plural is perhaps indicative of the fact that actually Yaakov gave them two blessings. He gave them each their own individual blessings according to their own individual traits, and those may not have been shared with all of the rest of the tribes. But in addition to that, he was Beirach Osam. He gave them a collective blessing as one unit. What we learned from that technique of Yaakov and of that strategy of Yaakov is that he viewed them as individuals as well as a collective. You might become carried away in thinking about their individual traits and realize they are their own people, their own nations, their own groups. But really what he was trying to reinforce to them is that they all bring their own strengths to the table, their own unique individual characteristics to the table. But in the end of the day, they are part of one family, they are part of one nation, they are part of one collective, and that they have to view themselves in that way as well. It's all reminiscent back to the beginning of Yaakov's journey. As he goes out, to his journey to Lavan's home, he puts his head down on a rock. And the rock was 12 rocks that came into one, if you remember the medrash on that pasuk. And what he was supposed to understand is that this journey he was going on was going to yield 12 different tribes, 12 different tribes of Israel. And when all those 12 tribes, those 12 rocks were arguing who can come under the head of Yaakov, they all became one rock together, indicating to him that although he would give forth 12 different tribes and 12 different families and 12 different groups, they would always coalesce into one rock, into one stone. That was the prediction at the beginning of his life. That's what he saw come to fruition throughout his life. And as he ends his life, that's the aspiration he hands back over to his children. And that's why the pasuk tells us, Ish asher kibir chaso berach osam. The Torah tells us very deliberately, Yaakov treated them as individuals and treated them as a collective in terms of the brachos that he conveyed. Thank you all, and have a great Shabbos.
Thank you. Good Shabbos, Rabbi.
Shabbat
Shalom,
shalom.
Rabbi.
Thank you. Thank you so
Have a
much.
great Shabbos.
Bye.
Thank you. Good
Everyone.
Shabbos.
Be well.